Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Epstein is alive.
Jeffrey Epstein is now officially on TikTok.
Pay attention because Epstein was spotted alive.
Have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a very bad person, what he did, obviously, and he is dead. And I'm alive.
On August 10th, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found unalive in his Manhattan jail cell. The official ruling was that he did it himself. Simple, case closed. However, people didn't buy that story. There were too many red flags that just didn't add up. Now, a viral cell phone video of what looked like Jeffrey Epstein alive and well, shot on a Florida highway, has done what 6 years of conspiracy theories could not. It has made millions of people ask the same question at the same time. Is Jeffrey Epstein alive? The internet has done what the internet does. It has tracked the movements of the man in the video. It has compared his face to Epstein's mugshot, his ears to Epstein's ears, his posture to Epstein's posture. And the more they look, the more convinced they become. Fact checkers say it's a doppelganger, an innocent man with an unfortunate resemblance to Epstein. But after everything we know about that night Epstein passed away, the wiped footage, the conveniently malfunctioning cameras, the guards who just happened to fall asleep, the cellmate who was conveniently removed the day before, a lot of things just aren't adding up. The fact checkers say it's not him, but millions of people are looking at the video and saying the same thing. If Jeffrey Epstein really passed away, then who is the man in that video?
So you're not Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
Now, this whole story started with a video of a man driving a convertible on I-95 in Florida. Another driver, stuck in traffic, pulled out his phone and started filming. He looked at the man in the next lane and thought, that looks like Jeffrey Epstein, and he posted it online.
Epstein is alive.
Within hours, it had been viewed millions of times. Now, the man in the video saw the attention and decided to introduce himself. His name, he said, is Pete, but he calls himself Palm Beach Pete. He says he's a real estate professional who has lived in Palm Beach for many years.
I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm a regular guy. I'm retired. I lived in the city for a long time. Worked in commercial real estate. I love to play tennis. I'm very social. I'm not going to change. This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. And I can hold my head high. I didn't do anything. I just happened to have similar look.
Now here is where this story gets even weirder. Pete is approximately the same age Jeffrey Epstein would be if he were alive today, around 72 or 73. He has the same hair color, the same facial structure, the same tooth characteristics, and he frequents the same locations Epstein once did, Palm Beach, New York, the same places where Epstein built his empire. Pete has even admitted that he partied with Epstein on occasion.
When I was living in the city, I went to a couple of parties and Epstein was there at a party, and he was kind of creepy, just sitting on a couch, staying to himself. And he wasn't the magnitude that he is or was. So he wasn't a big deal. He was mysterious. People didn't know how he made his money and where he, what his story was. But I never really encountered him and had a conversation.
Pete says they moved in the same circles, and he acknowledges the resemblance, but he calls the coincidences pretty weird, and he firmly denies being Epstein. He has made several videos to clarify his identity to distance himself from Epstein's notorious legacy. He says people have vivid imaginations and that this is all just a strange coincidence.
Good morning, everybody. Palm Beach Pete from sunny Florida, not a cloud in the sky. I'm off to play some tennis. I'm not Jeffrey Epstein, I'm Palm Beach Pete. I want to thank all my followers. This thing has gone crazy viral, over 100,000 plus followers in less than 2 days. Have a great day. Enjoy life.
Now the thing is that the internet is not buying Pete's story. They have analyzed his ears, his voice, his mannerisms. They have tracked his movements. They have compared his face to Epstein's mugshot frame by frame. And the more they look, the more convinced they become. Palm Beach Pete is exactly what Jeff Epstein would call himself if he were still alive. Beach, you say? You know what else has beaches? The island. I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. That's exactly what Jeffrey Epstein would say. I'm Palm Beach Pete. Yeah, sure, Jeff.
They've got to be f***ers now. This is not real. So this is Palm Beach Pete, and he is claiming that he is taking a private jet. Listen to this.
Palm Beach Pete, where am I now? I'm in LA. Vegas to LA, shooting some content. Back to Vegas, more content. Keep it real. stay alive, be happy.
So Palm Beach Pete is now taking private jets, and I can't help but notice how this private jet looks very familiar. You know, sort of this guy's private jet. The flight data from this guy's private jet. Look at that plane. Notice the patterns on the plane. Notice the patterns behind Palm Beach Pete as he's flying in a private jet. Like, this is complete mockery. They are laughing in your face with this.
Part of the reason the Palm Beach Pete video went viral is that millions of people have never really believed the official story, and the official story has given them plenty of reasons to doubt. On August 10th, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found passed away in his Manhattan jail cell, but the events leading up to that morning have never been fully explained. Tova Knoll was one of the guards assigned to Epstein's unit. She was supposed to check on him every 30 minutes. Instead, she shopped for furniture online. She slept on the job, and at 5:42 a.m., less than an hour before Epstein's body was found, she Googled latest on Epstein in jail. She searched again at 5:52 a.m. Then, at 6:30 a.m., her colleague found Epstein unalive in his cell. But here is where the mystery goes even deeper. You see, 10 days before Epstein passed away, Knoll made a mysterious $5,000 cash deposit. Her bank records show 7 cash deposits totaling nearly $12,000 in the months leading up to his death. She drove a $62,000 Land Rover Range Rover, and when asked about the cash, she said she didn't remember. Then there are the cameras. A prison employee responsible for the surveillance system described the equipment as old and prone to frequent malfunctions. The DVR failed on July 29th. The motherboard failed on August 8th. The hard drive failed on August 10th, the day Epstein passed away. Now, newly released documents show the FBI scrambled to explain why it released a screen recording with a missing minute from the night Epstein died. The FBI promised to release the original footage, so you don't think there are any shenanigans. But the original footage has never been released, and the FBI has never explained why. The guards were fired, but criminal charges against them were dropped. A man who looks exactly like Epstein is driving around Florida, telling the world he's just a guy with a strange resemblance.
So when he got arrested, when he came back from Paris and they took him to the correctional facility, I was on the post, I lived in the city, and people were always circling me around me and giving me double looks.
Wait, in 2019, you're saying you lived in New York City?
Yes.
Oh, so you've been everywhere he goes.
The skeptics have looked at Palm Beach Pete and found reasons to doubt. They point to the ears. Epstein had long, distinctive earlobes. Pete's are shorter, but some have speculated, could Pete's earlobes have been altered? Surgery, maybe a piercing. A deliberate change to distance himself from the man he supposedly once was. Then there are the teeth. In videos, Pete's top teeth appear different from Epstein's, but the bottom teeth are notably similar, crooked in the same spots, at the same angles. Given Epstein's access to dental care, including a dentist chair in his office, changes to teeth are plausible. Voice comparisons have also revealed differences, but Pete's voice is high-pitched enough to be altered. A man who spent decades in the spotlight could easily learn to change his tone. In interviews, Pete has shared that he lived in New York City in 2019, the year Epstein died. He has been recognized in public, filmed at a hockey game, and even appeared briefly on The Real Housewives of New York City. He says people stop him on the street. They take photos and they ask the same question. Despite the attention, Pete reports no negative encounters in person. Online comments can be harsh, but face-to-face interactions have been mostly positive or humorous.
What I want to know is when people encounter you, and I'm really serious about this, do they get angry? I mean, do they almost feel like they're no?
No, it's never happened.
Never happened. Huh. Even with, because the conspiracy theory is that, you've heard it, I know, that Jeffrey Epstein is not actually dead.
Right.
And so I would think there would be some people,
I've never had an encounter,
who would approach
Harvey,
you.
I've never had an encounter in face-to-face, but the comments online are pretty nasty.
Pete's family, including his children, find the situation amusing rather than distressing. He has no intention of changing his appearance despite the comparisons. The similarities are striking. Same approximate age, similar facial features and teeth. Both have lived in Palm Beach and New York. Both have attended the same social events. The coincidences have led some to speculate about a double life or a death that was never real. But the prevailing opinion is simpler. Pete is a lookalike, a man who happens to share an uncanny resemblance to one of the most infamous figures in modern history. A coincidence so strange that it has captured the imagination of millions. The official story of Jeffrey Epstein's death has never satisfied. The cameras failed, the guards slept, the footage is missing, the explanations never came. For 6 years, the public has been left with questions that the authorities have refused to answer. Now, a man named Pete has driven into the frame, a man who looks like Epstein, who lives where Epstein lived, who partied with Epstein, who exists in the same world at the same time with the same face. For millions of people, Pete is not a coincidence. He is confirmed. Proof that the official story was a lie. Proof that Epstein is alive, hiding in plain sight, driving a convertible down I-95 while the world debates whether he's really dead. Pete says he's just a guy, a retired real estate professional who happens to look like a dead He says the comparisons are strange, the attention is surreal, but he is not Jeffrey Epstein. The evidence is not there. No document places Pete on the island. No flight log bears his name. No victim has identified him. The resemblance is striking, but a striking resemblance is not proof. So what are we to make of Palm Beach Pete? A man who has become a symbol of everything the public has never been told. A face that represents the refusal to accept a story that never made sense. Pete may be exactly who he says he is, or he may be something else. The truth is, we may never know, but the fact that millions of people are willing to believe he is Epstein says more about the system that failed us than it does about the man in the convertible. What do you think? Is Palm Beach Pete a doppelganger or the reason the cameras had to fail? The comments are yours. The truth, whatever it is still waiting to be found.